Freddie,
Yeah,
how's it going?
Good,
Man. So we just had an awesome, crazy tournament.
Yeah, it was the craziest thing, man. I was on the camera boat, safety boat, and I haven't ever gotten footage of like some of the things that were going on. You saw the footage that I sent. Like,
yeah,
dude, the guys were like literally all the way behind the waves, and then the waves would come out, and then the guy would pop up. And it was
well, just so you guys know, it was definitely one of our most challenging events. The seas were, what were they, 3 to 6?
3 to 6. Like, well, I would say 4 to 6, and then some 8-footers, 9-footers here and there. I mean, we were in a 31-foot catamaran, and we were dipping the bow every now and then, drifting.
Yeah,
so
and speaking of that, I really want to thank, our help boats for this event. They were awesome. We want to thank one of our help boat sponsors, they were all over the place, Renaissance Prowler, and especially our two captains, Steve and Eric. You guys were awesome. We also want to thank our sponsors for this podcast. We got RAILBLAZA, Hold Everything, and Costa Del Mar, see what's out there. So, all the sponsors for the Sailfish Smackdown, we want to thank you guys as well. We had a killer raffle. Let's start there maybe with the raffle. What's going on?
Nothing.
Is it recording?
No, it's fine.
You sure?
Yeah.
I got the look of death.
No, it's fine.
Okay, good.
Everything is good.
So let's start with the raffle. I mean, that was one of our biggest raffles we've ever had. We raised a good amount of money for the charity, which is exciting. And it was awesome, man. I mean, we had the huge sailfish mount from Global. We had the paddleboard from Hobie and Nautical Ventures. So it was fun, man. It was rocking that night, right? It was good to be back at Brews Room.
I wanted that sailfish so bad. Dude.
Yeah,
like
we all
I wanted
did.
to just put it like on the outside of the front of my house.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have put it inside. I would have put it on the outside of the front.
Right.
Like a jet.
Don't you think the sun would have like eaten away at it though? Maybe.
I feel like I could have taken it back to Global and said, "Listen, I'm going to put it outside. Hit it up with the UV spray. They probably got something for that."
True.
You see them outside often.
Yeah, you're right. Like if you're going down the canals, they're always in people's like backyards and stuff. And we also, big shout out to all the guys that fished this event. I mean, you guys were literally killer. I mean, you guys were fantastic. To go out there, especially on day 2, and battle the elements that you guys were battling was actually truly like a sight to see. I mean, to see the camaraderie of these guys in the morning and everyone pushing each other out and everyone helping each other, that's what makes for a great event. That is what, people like to see, everyone was helping everyone. And I thought that was great.
Yeah, we had like we always have like the few guys who are like the push out crew.
Right.
And then just the guys who weren't fishing, because it was pretty gnarly, and no shame if you didn't get out. Like,
sure,
it was burly. Like, yeah. It was definitely tough.
I mean, I had to make a decision in the morning. Yeah. And it was definitely something that I'll probably never forget. It kind of reminded me of 2012. Back then, we were going to launch, and there was this massive thunderstorm, and it was blowing 15 to 20, pretty much the same kind of wind and weather, except for the thunderstorm. And I looked at the guys, and I said, listen, you guys paid your entries. It's up to you. If you want to go out there and fish, and this is, mind you, before we had help boats. So, I mean, this is sketchy. I know. But, we were a lot more confident this time because we have the help boats and the sponsors and everyone that was helping out. But it was, just to see what these guys have done is pretty amazing. And now a shout out to the winners, first of all, we have our featured guest who's going to be calling in any minute, Franco. He's also a military guy. Yep. And so we definitely respect him for that as well. And we want to thank him for our service. So we'll get to talk to him. And this, I believe, was his first tournament he's fished with EKFT. And he's a first-time winner of the tournament, which is awesome. And he's from Jacksonville. So the Sailfish Smackdown was won by a non-local. Again, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
We love those out-of-towners, man.
Yeah, I don't know how far do you have to paddle to get to Sailfish Grounds up there in Jacksonville.
Well, we're going to ask them. I mean, I really don't know, but I'm sure it's
I know they
insane.
Crush kingfish even from like the pier up there.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, they kill them off the pier.
They get some big kings there, right?
Big ones, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know how far they would have to go to catch sails. I mean, obviously they're there. They're just far off the beach from what I understand. So. Well,
we also we had a Texas guy finish 3rd. What are you doing, dude? You're like, hey, fiddling around.
Watch your
Freddie,
freaking mouth.
don't do this.
Watch your mouth.
Freddie. So Yeah, we had a Texas guy finish third, which is awesome. We love our Texas guys. We always get a group of them that fish our events, and it's good to see them back on stage. Eric, so he placed third, and we got some awesome photos. He's actually going to be on the cover of the next magazine. We got a killer shot. And then we got Rob Rodriguez. He finished second place.
Yeah, with that
on a hashtag stealth. Well, it's so funny.
Joe.
I know. I'm such a dick.
Yeah, I didn't say it.
No, but no, it was fantastic. I mean, to see him out there and see what oh my God. I mean, to see that picture was.
That picture will win awards.
Yeah,
for sure. Bustamante crushed it. It was funny because we're both on the boat, shoulder to shoulder, trying to stand up straight, right? Because it's ridiculous.
Right.
And I'm flailing around. I'm trying to. We weren't close enough. Really, we weren't close enough to be videoing.
Yeah.
Because a photo, you have to capture a frame.
Right.
Video, you have to capture the moment, the whole thing. And he's got this gnarly camera. I won't even talk about his camera, but
yeah, it's
and
way above me.
when I see that fish come out of the water, and all I hear is, and that's his shutter just
going off
like 16 frames, like in a second. I'm like, dude, can I please see that? And it showed, and I saw it. Like, it's ridiculous. Like,
winning. Well, let me tell you something.
He's a beast. Bustamante is a beast.
Now, I got some other good shots that I'm saving for the magazine.
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely more.
I used the worst out of the bunch.
Yes.
But that worst shot out of the bunch was phenomenal.
I believe that'll win awards.
Yeah, I agree with you.
That's ridiculous.
I agree with you. And, hats off to Rob. He was one of the first guys out there. He is true. I mean, I've known Rob since the beginning. I remember years ago, I think it was like 2008, maybe 2007, I got my first sailfish in Pompano with Rob.
Yeah, they were on him too. Like, there were three dudes. It was Brian and Rob and then Eric. And they were sort of real close to one another. And they were in the fish because Rob was like, I know you don't want to hear. You probably don't want to hear this. You probably didn't watch all that footage, but
yeah,
he hooked his fish. It was 9:20 in the morning, 9:19.
Yeah.
And as he leaders it, he's like, can I pop him off? Can I pop him off? And I'm
like, oh God, Rob, you're killing me.
Stop yelling in the microphone. No one will hear you. I'm like, yeah, dude, pop it off. Like, it is what it is. Like, he wanted to go out and catch another fish,
Sure.
And that just speaks to his competitiveness, man. Like, he could sit there and hang out and let us take pictures for 20 minutes.
Right.
He wanted to get that fish off of there and go catch another one. And he hooked up pretty soon after.
Oh, he did hook up.
Yeah.
To another one.
He just lost them. And guys are losing fish left and right. I mean, it's tough.
We had a lot of lost sailfish in this tournament. Yeah, the most we've ever had.
It's tough to keep tension on a fish when you're 6 feet up and then 6 feet down right away. There's a lot of slack that happens. And so I think that's why a lot of guys, especially out-of-towners, you don't have to do that. Most of the time. And then that fish, it can take 200 yards of line and then give back faster than you can retrieve it.
Well, that's the thing. You can't let that line go slack with these sailfish. And what was probably happening, as you just said, was because of how choppy it was.
It's tough.
These guys it was getting slack, and then they were losing their fish. I
know
Nodell had a double header on.
Yep.
I mean, that was 2 fish right there. I believe these guys went 3 for 9 or 3 for 10. So, I mean, that's a lot of sailfish that were had. So, but we got another chance in the second leg of the Sailfish Smackdown. So these guys can definitely. I mean, it's anyone's game. I mean, you got 3 guys with 1 fish, so just load up. And
3 guys, 1 fish?
3 guys, 1 fish. Or 3 guys, 1 fish each.
That's gross.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. But, yeah, I mean, it's really anyone's game, right?
Oh, you mean for the ring?
Yeah, for the ring.
Yeah, for the ring, it's anyone's game, for sure.
Yeah. We just got to pray for the weather. My almanac has been way off so far this year.
Yeah, you've been off your game. You must.
I don't know what it is.
The weather gods.
I mean, our almanac is usually like right on point.
It's Trump effect.
I don't know.
So the global warming.
Maybe it's you.
Could be that I didn't.
Could be you.
It doesn't like that I'm not fishing.
Right. Exactly.
True.
Right. Also, real quick, I do want to go over with you before he calls in because he's calling in any minute. I saw an article on Fox News.
Oh.
And it was about how people that were born before, or people that are 40 and younger, will be able to live forever by 2040.
Whoa.
Now, it's going to start out with just rich people, but so what they're saying is going to happen. Oh, we got him calling in. Hold on. We'll go over this later, but this is pretty intense.
I don't believe it.
I know you don't. Franco, what's going on, bud?
Hey, how you doing, Joe?
Good, man. Good. Hey, first I just want to say congrats, man. You killed it in the Sailfish Smackdown. As a first-time winner, I just think it's awesome. My hat's off to you. And also, you being a veteran, I also want to thank you for your service. So, man, you killed it, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Freddie's here with me.
Yeah,
Fred?
good job, brother. Appreciate you coming on.
Hey, thanks, Freddie.
No problem,
Yeah,
man.
thank
No
you.
problem.
Thank you for having me.
So I just want to jump right into it, Franco. First of all, how did you find out about extreme kayak fishing, and what made you come and compete in this event?
I actually found out about it last year while I was sitting in my kayak bass fishing in Texas. That's how I stumbled across your page. Yeah, and I was like, man, that'd be great. And then next thing you know, my wife's like, hey, I got a job offer in Jacksonville, Florida. I was like, whoa.
Snap.
I was like, really? I was like, it's got to be a sign.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I knew once, she said she had got the job. I was like, all right, I'm going to start entering these tournaments, but I need to, get used to this water before I commit to something. So, yeah, that's how it came to be. So it was pretty interesting from my end.
Very cool, man.
To go from, a bass fisherman to offshore.
Yeah, you went from Facebooking while fishing in a river or lake to like winning the Sailfish tournament.
Unbelievable, man.
You don't have much time to Facebook on the water here, though, right?
Yeah, how much different was it?
Facebooking because I was uploading a picture. That's what it
Oh,
was.
okay.
And then I was like, whoa. And I think Facebook has that algorithm where if you're, talking or posting fish, it,
they
it
know
puts up
everything,
stuff that you're interested in.
So Franco, when you were out, let's rewind a little bit. So when you were day one, looking out, were you just like, holy crap, this is like the choppiest I've ever been out kayak fishing, or have you been out in weather like that before?
I've never been in weather like that, and especially those conditions. And to be honest, the night prior, I didn't get any sleep. I probably
none of us did.
It felt like I just laid my head down and my alarm went off. I probably had like less than an hour of sleep.
Wow. It's fun,
and
isn't
I
it?
was running behind, so yeah.
So you were like racing to the
yeah.
beach. You're
But I
like,
never-
oh my god, we got a tournament right around the corner.
Yeah, I overheard the other anglers talking about, "Wow, man, look at this surf," and then I didn't want to like psych myself out of it. It was just one of those like it's now or never.
Right.
So I just got in the zone, and then especially when I saw other people just taking lead, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna be like that. So I just got in the water.
Yeah, and I always tell anglers, you have to, you can't psych yourself out when you're on the beach. You got to be confident. Confidence is key. Every time I used to go offshore fishing in the kayak, no matter what, and I've been out in weather like that before, back before I was retired.
Okay.
But I would look at that surf and I wouldn't even think twice and just go. And I really believe that it's definitely a state of mind. So so you shoot out day one, and so what did you do? What was your plan? What were you gonna do?
Well, day one, it was you and another helper that actually helped me get on my kayak. And when you told me to jump on, I didn't look at the waves coming in.
Oh,
So
that was you I was
but
screaming at.
Yep, and I had busted my face on my kayak. I was bleeding halfway out there, and I didn't even know until I looked down and I started tasting blood in my mouth. And I was like, "Oh, you gotta be kidding me!"
I love it. Yeah, because I remember you were like I was like, dude, jump in, the waves, you got to clear and go,
Yep,
go. Okay, so you get out there, you're bleeding, okay, you're ready to rock, you got blood in your mouth, you're out there, you're in the elements. So what happened next?
My game plan was just to keep getting away from all the surf area, and then just go deep,
right,
and then just start. I figured. My game plan was once I reached about maybe 100 feet, that's when I would start throwing out my bait and then just start trolling.
And you had a depth finder?
I did.
Okay. And how many rods were you using?
Judging, just only two.
Okay,
only
great.
2 rods.
I love that. Less is
So,
more,
I
man.
saw a lot of people with a lot of rods, and I was like, man, that's too much for me. I just want to keep it simple. Especially if we were in that type of conditions, I didn't want to break or lose a rod. So
exactly. Now, when you when you were, excuse me, you hooked up pretty early though, right? Like when you were, I think it was like 9, right?
I did.
Okay.
So I hooked up, I want to say about, it was 9 o'clock when I looked at my phone, but I didn't call it in right away because I kept hearing people say, fish on, and I was like, oh, man, that's awesome. But they kept saying, never mind, fish off. So I didn't want to be that next caller, be like, fish on, and then next thing the fish was off. So I had to make sure it was on. So that's why I noticed when the help boat came, they're like, hey, is it a sail? Are you sure? I was like, oh, it's a sail. And then it, it came up towards the end. Yeah.
So that fish didn't jump the whole time, right? Did you know it was a sail? Like, how far into the flight were you?
Sail, the first 5 minutes, once I started tying down the drag and, getting closer, it started doing its acrobatics in air, and I was just like, wow, whoa, I had bad GoPro placement. That's I'm never going to, use the GoPro on my chest anymore. I'm going to try to keep it on my head or something so I can at least capture the action.
Yeah, I mean, RAILBLAZA sells some great mounts where you can just like mount one behind you, mount one in front of you. So, definitely you want to try to get as much footage as possible when it comes to those, especially when they're dancing. There's really nothing like it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, all right. So you were fighting the fish, and I was there when you grabbed the leader and all that. What were you thinking? Like, were you thinking about maybe bringing that fish up for a better photo, or were you like, I just want to get back to fishing?
I was.
What was going through your head?
I noticed it still had a lot of fight in it, and I could tell because it was still swimming. It was still healthy looking. It still was pulling, but I was at that moment where I've already tried to touch the leader like twice now. I might as well just touch it, just to get that time in,
right? Rather
than a photo.
Right.
So and then I had reeled it up past the leader. The leader went into one of my eye rods. So when I had when it was pulling away, it actually snapped on the swivel. So I was holding on to the leader with just my 2 hands, and that's why when I was pulling it, I was like, oh, it's gonna break. Plus, I was using 20-pound fluoro, so I already knew it was already stretched, and you could see the wear on the leader. So I knew it was just a matter of time, and it just broke off.
20-pound fluoro. That's
smart.
Awesome, man.
20 pound.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah, stealthy.
Yeah, 20 pound. One set was 20-pound test with a 20-pound leader, and then the other one was 30-pound with 30-pound leader.
Wow, that's awesome.
I try to go as light as possible.
That'll do it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like sometimes I always like to ask anglers like what they were using in the tournaments because maybe guys were using heavier gear and weren't getting bites. So it sounds like from you got that early bite and you were using super light leader. I mean, you never know. I mean, that could be the game changer. I don't know what other guys were using, but.
Yeah, I normally fish just locally, for reds and trout, small type, boring stuff. And I was asking, hey, have you ever caught a sailfish? And he was like, go as light as possible. He's like, I recommend any conventional with, 20 or 30-pound line. 20-pound if you want to test your skills. And I was like, oh, so I kept that in the back of my mind.
Right.
Yeah, good guy.
That's why I went with 120-pound, 130.
Yeah, we meant to ask you up there in Jacksonville, do you get offshore often? And how far would you have to paddle if you wanted to get a sailfish up there?
I haven't actually targeted sailfish up here. We moved here last summer, so I wanted to get used to the water and, just inshore before I actually went offshore. So I only went offshore once, and I only caught sharks.
Oh, really? Okay. What's the farthest you went out in Jacksonville?
Maybe about a mile out.
Okay.
I mean, the conditions weren't really ideal. And I didn't have the Hobie back then. I just had an old, Dick Special, which was a Field and Stream Eagle Talon 12.
Oh,
so
nice.
I turtled, maybe like 3 or 4 times, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I should head in.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Joe likes the Dick Special.
Yes, thank you. So day 2, right? You roll up to the beach. You're all happy. You're in first place right now. What are you thinking, man? Because it's literally the wind's probably what? Day 1 it was probably
easily 20.
Yeah, it was. I mean, day 2 was blowing 20 right off the bat. So what were you thinking day 2?
It was. Day 2, I just I try to just stay focused, stay humbled. I was great. I was talking to everybody. Everybody was real friendly. I think that's probably one of what made the trip worth it was just the people. You can just feel the good vibes in the atmosphere. Everyone just friendly. competition, you're like, I'm not going to let you get away that easily, and I would just laugh and like, hey, well, good luck to you.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to just say, oh, I'm not going to chance it out today. I already caught my one. So I just wanted to continue to improve myself, as an angler.
Well, which is great is, I was telling Fred before you called in, the camaraderie out there was awesome. I mean, this was definitely one of the most close-knit, tournaments that I've seen in a while. And, it was a smaller group because of the weather, but I kind of liked it. I thought it was great seeing everyone helping everyone. And it definitely,
exactly.
With the out-of-towners, we had guys come from California, Texas, and they all said the same thing. Like, just everyone kind of helping each other out made the trip worth it to them.
It was. It definitely was one of the highlights of the tournament.
Yeah, so, very cool.
I mean, we had people. And then I think the one who got third place from Texas.
Yep, Eric.
I forgot his name.
Eric.
He saw me struggling because I was just pulling my kayak through the sand, and he's like, "Hey, hold on, I got some beach wheels." And I was like, "Man, that's a lifesaver."
Yes.
He's like, "Yeah, man, no problem."
Wow. Yeah, man.
Definitely made my day.
And it's also cool when there's less people because you get more Jersey Mike sandwiches.
You ever been to a tournament with that many help boats and guys throwing sandwiches and all that stuff at you?
No, I've never been. Yeah,
it was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's
that
right.
was awesome.
Well, now day 2, did you get any bites? Did you have the same kind of strategy? What were you doing offshore day 2?
I figured with the way the swells were and just the conditions, I figured I was gonna stick close, but I kept seeing everybody close, within, I would say, less than 100 feet of water. So I was like, I'm going to try and branch out and go a little bit further, even though I had a feeling that the fish was going to be
shallow,
less than 100 feet. Exactly.
Yeah.
But, so I just decided to go out. I saw, several anglers go deep, and I was probably about at the 210 mark when, my reels were screaming, but it wasn't a sailfish scream. I think it was, a kingfish because it would break off. Like I would reel my my line in, and then the hook was missing, or the leader had been chewed through. So I was like, okay, I'm probably getting something.
Yeah, it was a monster wahoo.
It was a 90-pound wahoo.
Right.
Every time.
Right.
If you get cut off, it was a wahoo.
So Franco, are we going to see you for the next Sailfish tournament? Are you in it to win it? Are you going to try to get that ring? What's the future hold for you with Extreme?
My wife asked me too on the drive home, and she's like, "So you gonna show up for part 2?" I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm definitely." I was like, "I'm hooked now." I was like, "If that's how this tournament is gonna be with the camaraderie, the closeness,
sure,
just how everything's put together, then I'm definitely coming back." She's like, "You gonna try and get that ring?" I was like, "Well, for me, it's not about the ring. I just want to get back out there." I was like, "You don't get that type of fishing where we live, especially since it's still considered wintertime."
That's true, man.
Yeah, I'll definitely be back.
Awesome. And I hope we see you for the Summer Slam series, because let me tell you something. If you've only fished the Sailfish Smackdown, you're in for a treat with the Summer Slam, because that's a totally different type of event. We got a huge, party on the beach. We got live music. We got food. We got everything right there. So you'll really enjoy that as well.
Yeah, it's like a stage and champagne popping, and
it's awesome.
You get to use dynamite.
So hopefully we'll see you for that too,
I think
Franco.
that's in June.
Yeah, it's going to be in June and August.
I'll definitely do that.
Oh, that'll be good.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Oh, yeah, I'll definitely be there.
Awesome. Well, Franco, listen, man, we really appreciate you calling in. You are the man. I mean, to see what you guys pulled off and what you guys did in that type of atmosphere and weather was truly awesome, man. You kicked ass, and, man, hey, I appreciate it.
No, I appreciate you, Joe. You threw away a well put together tournament, so I don't think you're getting enough recognition as you should. It was very well put, I thought, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, I probably have no weight because it's my first one, but I kind of liked how you ran everything. So
thank you, man.
You're on the cup. You're on the cup now, dude. You get your advice is always welcome.
Yeah. Hey, I really appreciate it, Franco, and yeah, I mean, you out of towners are great. I mean, you guys are truly what makes extreme kayak fishing. Without you out of towners, we wouldn't be here today. So I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Freddie.
All right, brother. We'll talk to you next time.
All right. See you, brother.
Okay. All right. See you.
Awesome. So what we learned?
Franco.
20-pound
banger, mono.
Yeah, man.
Straight to a 20-pound banger leader.
That's awesome.
Fluoro. Yeah.
I'm interested to see.
I think that's what Benny used all year. I think that's what Benny used this time.
Same
Benny
thing.
used like tiny little baby hooks. And,
yeah. I would always use like 3-0 hooks, circle hooks. You know?
Have you ever caught a sailfish?
No, never in my life.
I don't think so.
No, I think. I mean, it's anyone's game, man. You know.
So now for the ring, like the same rules apply. Like if Eric and Robinson don't catch a sail, Franco's in first.
Same as it would be right now.
Yeah, so it's just like the
it's all
third
time.
and fourth day.
Yeah, you just want to load up on as many fish as possible.
So you gotta double up.
Correct.
To beat any of the top 3 guys.
Correct.
Fair.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome, man.
So you gotta catch 2.
You gotta catch 2
if you're gonna beat one.
Hopefully you catch 10.
Yeah,
that's what we're shooting for. On to
Black Panther.
Living Forever.
Oh,
you want to talk about Black Panther first, real quick?
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
I heard it was a great movie.
I haven't heard anything.
Really?
No, I haven't heard anything. No one. I go to school with kids who don't care about. It's weird. They don't. It's people our age who go to the superhero movies. The kids who are 19,
well, look at Kirk.
20, they don't go to the superhero
Kirk's
movies.
obsessed.
They're like, "What's Black Panther?" And I'm like, fair.
Well, anyway.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, me either. So we're not gonna.
It's whatever.
When we already discussed how Star Wars was terrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I read this article and I just thought it was really.
Did you read it? Because a minute ago you said
I read some of it. I didn't read all of it. I get a little
News.
lazy. I don't like to read that much.
I thought
but
you heard it on Fox News.
No. It was an article on Fox, and they literally said if you're 40 or younger, you could potentially live forever. I mean, and they're going to like upload your consciousness to, another body or something, and they're saying this is really going to happen. Like, by 2020, they're saying this could really happen.
That was a movie that you saw the one where the white people, the old rich white people, were like taking the black people and putting their own consciousness inside the black people. What was that one called?
Oh, Get Out.
Yeah, that's what you saw. That wasn't on Fox News.
No, they're saying this stuff could potentially really happen.
It's not going to happen.
I think it could really happen.
Why would you think? How?
Freddie, don't do this. All right? You're nuts. All right, guys. Well, listen, we got to go. It's sort of a short show. We got a lot to do. We got the next magazine coming out. We're preparing for the rest of the year. It's been really nuts lately here back home. But yeah, so you could sign up for the Sailfish Smackdown Leg 2, which is right around the corner, and that's taking place in early April. You can go to the website, extremekayakfishing.com, and check that out. Just bang that Sailfish Smackdown tab, and you can also see all the pictures and all the cool stuff from our past event. You can find us on Facebook, Extreme Kayak Fishing Inc., or Instagram, #Extreme Kayak Fishing.
Word.
Freddie?
What?
Pedal Pirate?
Oh, at Pedal Pirate on Instagram. My new YouTube channel just scored over 100 subscribers.
You want to talk about that real quick?
Like a goddamn gentleman.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm a big deal, bro.
Good job, man.
Hey,
100 subscribers.
Watch that next video.
100 subscribers. Pedal Pirate.
You watch that next
Subscribe.
video.
And subscribe to us, Extreme Kayak Fishing TV.
I'm going to give away something.
Yeah, man.
Something expensive.
All right, guys. We love you. We'll talk to you soon.
Word.